Coming up here on the Brave Sports Network, we have the coaches shows here on this Tuesday night. Coming up next, we have the Landon Bussey program. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, there she is, Coach Lisa Powell, pinch hitting for Nate Kilbert on this Tuesday. As we'll talk about the big win over Jackson State. When was the last time that a Nate Kilbert coach team beat Jackson State? If Coach was here, I was going to ask him that question. I think Lisa Powell can talk all about that. And, of course, she could reminisce on the Alcorn-Jackson rivalry. And, man, just beating Jackson State. The second half was terrific. Didn't look that way 24 hours before the game, but the Lady Braves turned it up in the second half. We'll recap that game, and we'll look ahead to the big one on Thursday night as Burnett Skeet and the Lady Tigers of Texas Southern roll into the Whitney Arena. We'll take a break here. The Nate Kilbert program, pinch hitting, is Lisa Powell, coming up next here on the Brave Sports Network.
Some names immediately evoke an uncommon sense of family, an unmistakable sense of character, an undeniable sense of legacy. Always. Where trailblazers and innovators chart new paths of possibility. Where academic rigor empowers the strength of character to lead with knowledge and integrity. It's a name that harkens back to over 150 years of truly making a difference in our world. Always Alcorn. We always believe in the power of curiosity. Our students don't just study, they reimagine possibilities. Every moment is an invitation to explore, to challenge, to transform how the world understands knowledge. Within our College of Arts and Sciences, discovery meets transformation. Your breakthrough starts here. Always mentoring, always connected, always Alcorn.
All right, coming up, we have the Nate Kilbert program, assistant coach Lisa Powell pinch hitting for Nate Kilbert. She did this a couple of times last year. She was scared to death, like she saw a ghost when she first did it. But she got rave reviews once she settled in. She was really, really good. And she got a lot of positive feedback when she did it last year. She's on deck pinch hitting for Nate Kilbert. The recruiting trail is wide open. We're going to talk a little bit about that as we had one game to review, and of course it was the big Jackson State game. Man, what a second half for the Lady Braves, pulling away 64-51. We'll talk all about it with assistant Lisa Powell. You can give us a call, 601-877-6595. You can text a question, 601-301-2611. We do have a text question, and we'll get to that, and on X Tall Man Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, assistant coach Lisa Powell here on the Nate Kilbert program. Coach Powell, how are you?
I'm well, Charles. How are you?
I am wonderful. And anytime you beat your number one rival, Jackson State, I'm sure the last 72 hours, have you come down off that high?
Yeah, we found have because we have a big task ahead of us. Going in, we have to play Texas Southern Thursday. So, we did our little celebration. First win, first time that we beat Jackson State, on our tenure. So yeah, they were hyped. But you know what, Charles? We couldn't have gotten that win at a better time. Momentum going to these last four games. We win these last four games, put us in a great position. We won't have to play that Tuesday. We'll go in playing on that Thursday night, which will give our girls a chance to rest. So we couldn't have gotten that win at a better time.
And the one thing coming out of that game, Nate Kilbert was mad because you all got his suit, his brand new suit that he just got from the tailor. He got his suit wet and the Gatorade bath, but he was not happy about that. But I'm sure it was a very happy locker room after the game.
Yeah, it was. We always talk about the rivalry against Jackson State. How, we prepared and the things, the trash talking, it's a badge of honor for us to beat Jackson State. And for the girls to get that first experience and beating Jackson State, it was great in that locker room.
Well, the one thing about Jackson State, and we know that first meeting, it was a game that was there for the taking. And as we get into this game, and I can share this, I was at practice on Friday, and the way we were just kind of going through the motions, and it looked like we're just going through the motions. It didn't look like a 24-hour period before a big game against Jackson State. Somebody asked me, does this look like we're ready for Jackson State? And I looked at this person, they looked at me, and they said, I don't think so. And for the first 4 or 5 minutes of the first quarter, it looked that way. But man, the last 5 minutes of the second quarter and the second half, we looked like a totally different team. And I guess now, as Coach said the other night, got to deal with practice and try to keep the focus for practice. We'll kind of get into that, but talk about the game overall. I mean, a great last 15 minutes, kind of a shaky start, but we hung in the last 4 minutes of the second half, only down one, and in the third quarter, we turned it up.
Yeah, like you said, we got out to a very slow start. The shots wasn't falling, so the coaching staff told the girls, if the shots not falling, let's attack the basket. And as you saw, they couldn't stop Kiara Henderson from getting to driving, getting to backdoor cuts, and getting to the basket. So we just kept feeding her the ball. I always tell them, get the ball to the hot hand, and they did a great job of doing that Saturday. And we were able. Came back the second half. I think a lot of our defense had a lot to do with our success too. It's always turn our defense into offense, and we did a lot of that Saturday too, as you can see. But got together and started playing as a team, sharing the ball real well, and got the ball to the hot hand, which was at the time Kiara Henderson, and we left out there with the outcome we needed, a win going into Thursday.
Do you think that the slow start, were we nervous a little bit? I mean, big game, number one rival in Jackson, just kind of a nervous energy the first 5 minutes?
Well, they didn't seem to be nervous, Charles. I just think it was just the shots the shots that they normally hit wasn't falling. I think that had a lot to do with it. And we got to talk to them about hey, just keep pushing. And then coach told them at the back door and know what was open. And once we got a couple of baskets to fall, that energy. You see, we start picking up things on defense as well. But I don't think they were nervous. We've been prepared for that Jackson State game for a whole week. And like I say, they know about the history behind the Jackson State, the rivalry behind Jackson State and Alcorn. So I don't think they were nervous. I think they were just a little, anxious about, the shots not falling. But like I said, once those shots start falling, we start playing that good defense, and Jackson State started, their shots wasn't falling the second half. So, that helped us a whole lot. And we just that momentum just come. We were consistent in the second half. I can say that we played very consistent. We moved the ball real well. I mean, shared the ball and got it to the hot hand and the open player. So we did a good job of doing it Saturday.
Yeah, in the first quarter, we only shot 28%. Jackson State shot 27%. In the second quarter, we shot 33%. They shot 33%. But in that third quarter, we shot 72% in that third quarter. We were 13 of 18, and in Jackson State shot 27% in that third quarter. What made the third quarter so special in terms of just the execution? We outscored Jackson State 29-11. We got the turnovers. Our defense led to our offense. 29 points in the third quarter. What was the speech at halftime? Because you all looked like a totally different team coming out of the locker room.
Well, the speech at halftime was just stick and do what we know how to do best. You saw that we got a lot of back doors, and all our shots were around the basket. We didn't shoot that many outside shots, and we just stuck with what we were good at and finishing the basket, finishing the layups. That first half, Jackson State really hung around from the free throw line. And we also tell them stop doing so many touching fouls and getting the team to the free throw line so often. So that we kept Jackson State out the free throw line. We got our back door to Kiara Henderson, turn our defense into offense, and we did it well.
Yeah, we sure did. I mean, as you could just see, we're just starting to pull away a little bit for those watching, 30-27. Want to talk about Kiara Henderson because she obviously got us going, especially early when we were struggling to score. What do you see in Kiara Henderson? I don't think we've talked to you about Kiki and what she can do. I mean, she clearly is a difference maker when she comes in off the bench. And when she did, she kept us in it early when we were struggling. And then I thought she was a real good enforcer to just kind of help solidify things. What do you see in Kiara Henderson, and as a former player yourself, what do you see in her and what she does when she comes into the game? Because things change
Yeah.
offensively, defensively, pace, energy when she's on the floor.
Well, Kiara Henderson bring us that energy and that effort that we need off the bench. She's the one's the most consistent players that we have on the team. We know what Kiara Henderson is going to bring to our team. She's going to hit the board. She's going to get the rebound, and she's going to finish those shots around the basket. As long as Kiara Henderson does what she does best and stick to that role, we day in and day out, Kiara Henderson is going to get us something, and we know she's going to be consistent. When it's getting to the free throw lines, rebounding, finishing around the basket, Kiara Henderson is going to do those things for us and bring that energy off the bench that we sometimes need. Sometimes that first five doesn't give us that energy that we need, but Kiara Henderson is going to come out there and pick it up and give us that effort that we need.
And it's my understanding that not only that she does that on the floor, but what you don't see in the locker room, the behind the scenes stuff, is she kind of that same way too? When things are down, she's kind of a pick me up. Is she that way off the floor as well?
Yes, she is. She'll tell a player what they need to do and what they're not doing. That's why I respect so much about Kira. She doesn't care who that player is. She's going to tell them, hey, we need this from you for us to win. Because, she knows that she's going to come in there every day, and they know she's going to come in there and give her all. So they respect that from Kira, telling them what they need to do and what they're not doing on the floor.
The Lady Braves with that 29-11 third quarter, it was a 50-33 lead going into the fourth quarter. And so what a turnaround after being down 8 and then up by 17. That was a 25-point swing over a 15-minute period. So that fourth quarter, Coach Jackson made a little bit of a push. And we've seen this, unfortunately, from us, where we go into lulls, we go into droughts, teams kind of take it to us a little bit, and then we're on skates, and next thing you know, it's a big run by the opposition. What are we doing that fourth quarter to kind of contain Jackson enough to where we're able to put the game away in the last maybe 3 minutes?
Well, we've been pressing a little bit more. And I think that press kind of slowed them down. Our girls were able to keep those shooters in front of them. We didn't let number 3. We didn't let her get to the baseline and shoot her mid-range shot like she normally does. And that's because we are working in practice on our players keeping the opponent in front of them. And they did a good job on the defensive board as well. We did a good job in stopping Jackson State. They didn't score that much that second half because of our good defense.
Only 29 points in the second half. We got a lot of 50-50 balls. We did a good job on the boards. We were +5, 40-35 on the boards. And what I thought, there was a key point in the fourth quarter, maybe 4 minutes left, where we got 3 or 4 offensive rebounds in one possession. Long shots. We're up against the clock. Long rebounds. We got those. We're able to reset our offense, use a little clock. I thought that sequence, we were in control of the game, but if there was an exclamation point, it was that. Those long shots, long rebounds. I thought we were smart with the basketball, not rushing against the clock, just using clock, and I thought that was big too in the last 5-6 minutes. I thought we had control of the game, but also I thought we were smart at times in the last 5 minutes.
Right. And don't forget the effort now. The last couple of games, we've been playing with a lot more effort than we normally do. So we've been talking to them a lot about effort, getting after it on defense. The offense is going to come. If we stick to our play, getting the ball to the player that's hot, but we got to keep that effort on defense because we have to stop teams. We get lost of not stopping teams and get caught up in the offense more so than defense. And I think we're focusing more on defense now in these last couple of games, and we're getting good outcome focused on our defense.
Yeah, against Florida A&M, I thought we did a good job, holding them in check. Even though against Bethune-Cookman, it was kind of wild and crazy, some calls here or there. But, defensively, is it safe to say, though, that with this team, our offense starts with our defense? We have to create turnovers to give ourselves an opportunity to get more points, to get more shots. Kind of like the men. Landon Bussey says that our offense starts with our defense. Is that the same thing for the Lady Braves?
Yes, it is. And I think that we play better when our offense come from our defense. We got some quick players. We got Cheatham. We got Kiera who could play the passing line and get us those steals that we need, and create fast breaks. So I think that we are much better player when our defense turn into offense for us.
Yeah, we look at the final numbers as the Lady Braves won 64-51. We're 18 of 51 shooting. I'm sorry, we're 26 of 59, 44%. So we went from 28% in the first quarter. We finished shooting 44%. We had 3 triples, 9 of 15 from the free throw line. So we were -3 from the free throw line, +5 on the boards. Coach, what impressed you about the boards when you look at the numbers? 42-35. We held Jackson State to only 8 offensive rebounds. How big was that?
That was great, and I was really impressed with the way our teams hit the board as a unit. Everybody was hitting the board. We had maybe one person who was getting back, but this game, everybody was hitting the boards, like you said, getting those 50-50 balls that we need to win. If we could be consistent on game in and game out, I don't think anybody could beat us the remainder of these last 4 games if we stay consistent.
Yeah, and we did a good job, Coach, on limiting the turnovers. Turnovers has been our Achilles heel. When you look at offensively, when you're not scoring, when you can't put the ball in the bucket, you're struggling defensively. But when you're turning the ball over 21, 22 times, it makes it tough. But we only turned it over 12 times. And I think we might have had 6 turnovers in the first quarter. So the last 3 quarters, I think we only had 6 turnovers the last 3 quarters. So we did a good job in protecting the basketball.
Yeah, I think Janae Anderson is coming in there and doing a good job of getting the ball where it needs to be and taking care of the ball. So we were getting a lot of unforced turnovers. So I think she's focusing more of not getting unforced turnovers and getting the ball where it needs to go for us to run our offense. So these last couple games, like I said, she's been doing a real good job taking care of the ball.
Well, you had season highs in the Jackson State game. Kiera Henderson, a season high 22 points, and Destiny Brown, a season high 16 rebounds. We've talked with Coach Kilbert about this, about Destiny Brown. There have been games in which she hasn't been at her best, but when she had 14 points and a season high 16 rebounds. Unstoppable, getting that mid-range stuff, getting the second opportunities on the boards. What do you see in Destiny Brown? I mean, it's she missed a couple of games. She wasn't on the Texas swing. And so obviously we're looking forward to her and what she can do against one of the best teams in the conference in Texas Southern. But with Destiny Brown is on, this Lady Braves team is a tough outfit to beat.
Yes. Like I say, the main thing is being consistent. Destiny Brown is one of our main pieces. When she's going, we're going. Even even her shots, not only just her presence of being on the floor. They double team Destiny. If they double team Destiny, somebody's open. It's going to make it easy for the other players. So just by her being on the floor, it helps us out a whole lot, especially on our offense. And as you said, Destiny's going to get her rebounds. She's going to get you 8 to 9 rebounds a game, a contest. But Jackson State was going to have better games of rebounding. She got 16. I let her know as a guy, I said, "Yes, you got 16," because I mainly focus on defense and rebounds. I say if you do those things, you want to score. So that's my biggest area right there. When you play good defense and you get rebounds, we're going to win.
Holding Jackson State to 51 points. They had over 60 in the first meeting as the Lady Braves won 64-51. The Laser Hurd Floyd and Kaylin Watkins were big. Those two combined for 14 points. Kaylin Watkins had one big 3 from beyond the arc, and the Laser Hurd Floyd with a big 3 from beyond the arc in that third quarter. Talk about those two. Of course, we know with Kaylin Watkins, Coach, dealing with the shoulders, got a brace, and she's not 100% with the shoulder, won't be, but she's given us everything that she can give us, and her points were huge against Jackson State.
Yeah, they were, but we Kayla and DeLays, we bring them in there to boost up our defense. Turn our defense into offense. They the one bringing the energy with Kiera as well. But by them hitting those big shots, that was a big turnaround. In practice, they work on one thing about those two. They're not going to take too many bad shots. They're going to take the shots that the defense give them, especially the Hurts. She's not going to take a bad shot. She's going to take the shot that's the defense give her, and she's going to distribute the ball and play good defense. So they create a lot of stuff just with their defense alone. So and their energy, their effort changed the dynamic of the game Saturday also, because that second unit came out there. That defense put that defense on Jackson State and shut them down. So that's kind of rolled into the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a special effort. The Lady Braves win 64-51. Coach, I mentioned it at the top. 24 hours before the game, I was concerned. We're coming off the loss of Bethune-Cookman, the trip home. You kind of stewing about that, and then you got to crank it back up. Were you concerned last week, last couple of days leading into the Jackson game about the effort, or did you feel like we would turn it on once the lights get turned on? We would turn it on. Were you concerned late week, or were you not concerned about this kind of effort or lack thereof this past Saturday?
Well, I wasn't concerned about it at all, Charles. I didn't even think about it because the minutes leading up to the game, they had good energy, good vibe. They were communicating with each other, talk about what they need to do to get their first win. And what really got them, Charles, when they presented the Jackson State coach that ball for winning her 100 game against us way back in January, and they were like, so many other games has been played, at their home before this game. So I think that got them going. They were like, why did they do that? But that got them going. But I was never concerned about them because, like I said, they talk. They like this their opportunity because they know that home game they let it slip away. We only lost by 3, so they let that slip away. And so they were talking about that. But I wasn't concerned about the game Saturday. I wasn't. I knew eventually, we would get things going.
And then Nate Kilbert was talking about how anxious the players were in terms of what time's the game. When do we tip it off? They were ready. They were looking forward to it.
Yeah, they were, and we always talk about where we are in the standings. You don't want to be 7 and below because you have to go in there and play those 4 games in a row. You 6 and above, you put yourself in a good position. Our goal, before the season was to win a SWAC, but now things happen. So we got to worry about putting ourselves in a good position that we could get good seedings.
Well, Cedric, if we can pull up those standings, we do have the standings for you. The Lady Braves right now, as you can see right there, the Lady Braves are 7-7, and we're kind of locked into that 6th seed, Coach, right now. Grambling is 1 game up. We've got 4 to play, but Grambling essentially is 2 games up for 5 for the 5th seed because they beat us head up, so they have the tie break. So 2 games out of 5th with 4 games left to play. So you look up, that's where we are as far as the 5 seed. But you look back, Florida A&M, we have the tiebreaker on FAMU by virtue of 2 wins over Florida A&M. They're 1 game back. Bethune-Cookman, they beat us in terms of points. They beat us by 13 and we won by 10. So if we're tied, if they somehow get up to that 6th seed with us, they would get the 6th seed because of 3 points. They beat us by 13 in Daytona. So that's something to pay attention to as far as the standings are concerned in terms of that's where we are. So let's look ahead, Coach, to Texas Southern University. Texas Southern's been in first place. You look at the standings. Texas Southern a half game up on Southern University, 1 game up on Alabama A&M and Jackson State. They're now a game and a half out of first place. So in that 70-48 win in Houston in the first meeting, we had no Destiny Brown. Right. But when you look at this TSU team, what concerns you? I'm looking at their lineup with Deja Holmes and Jada Belton, Alasia Fantroy, as well as Treasure Thompson, who started in the first meeting, and Cortland Louderville, who's top 13 in scoring. What concerns you about Burnett Skeets Ball Club here as they come in on Thursday?
Well, Charles, I really don't. I'm really not concerned with what other teams do per per se. I'm concerned about what we do, what we're going to bring to the table. If we're going to be consistent, is the effort going to be great? Or are we going to get those 50-50 balls? Because if we do those three things, we are going to win. Right now, I think, about playing and watching all the teams, I think is whoever comes to play on that particular night, that's who's gonna win. If we keep their scores from scoring, we keep their defense on, keep those players out front, don't let them drive and attack the basket and get to the basket like they did in Houston, we're gonna win. And I think with Desmond Brown being in that center, being present in that center, I don't think they'll be able to drive like they did against us in Houston.
Yeah, we definitely missed her for sure in that first meeting in which Texas Southern won 70-48. Coach, a question from the X line. Congratulations. This is from Edgar. Congratulations on the big win on Saturday. Talk about how recruiting is going. Of course, Nate Kilbert's not here on the show because he is out recruiting. Has recruiting, as we continue to win, has recruiting been on the upswing? Because we've got a veteran group. We're going to lose a number of key pieces at the end of this season. How is recruiting going, especially after beating your arch rival the other night?
Recruiting's going pretty well this year. We got some early signees. We hadn't done that in a while, so we got some early signees. So it's going pretty well, and I think it's going to look up. We're going to be all right. I think we're going to have some solid veterans go be here. Leah Houston, and she's going to be here. You see how she's improved. I think she's going to be a force to be reckoned with next season. So, and we got some kids that are going to play around her. And we got we're looking at a couple of JUCO kids who are coming here and making an impact, immediate impact. So I think we're all right in as far as recruiting.
Yeah, and of course, the run that we made last year, making it to the championship game as a 6 seed, and if we can continue to make that run, we have a shot at a 5 seed, but it's not under our control. What we can control, Coach Powell, is the 6 seed. You don't want to slide to the 7th, as you talk about with the brackets and the way the brackets are set up, and I was able to print those out. The 1 seed and the 8th seed play March 11th. That's Tuesday at 2. And then the 7th seed and the 10 seed would be at 8:30. So if you're 7 through 10, you're going to be playing Tuesday either at 2 o'clock or 8:30. And you're playing at Pine Bluff on Saturday, so it'll be a short turnaround to go from Pine Bluff to Atlanta in 72 hours. You definitely want to avoid the 7th seed.
Right. Yeah, because we definitely need the rest. Our main players, they've been having a lot of load on them. So we definitely want that rest and period. I really believe, I'm not taking anything from any team because, like I say, it's all about if we come ready to play. I just think we want the better teams. Then our rank and then our standing say. But I think we're going to pull it off and get that 6 seed. Probably, I think we'll be pushing for that 5th seed too. But I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, that 5th seed is controlled by Grambling. Of course, Grambling beat us in the only meeting. And Grambling's got some tough games coming up. They got to go to Florida. So we'll be following all of that. Coach Powell, another good job pinch hitting for Coach Nate Kilbert. We're definitely going to do this again. We appreciate you coming in and filling in. We're going to be talking again, Coach.
I already know, Charles. So I'll be ready.
Coach, we appreciate it. Well, I'll be talking to you soon.
Okay.
That's Assistant Lisa Powell pinch hitting for Nate Kilbert as the Lady Braves coming off a big win over Jackson State. And Vernetsky, former Lady Brave, coaching at Texas Southern. She's got her team going in a first place battle. Lady Braves trying to improve in the standings. 6 o'clock on Thursday. We'll have it all for you on the Braves Sports Network. Assistant Coach Lisa Powell pinch hitting for Nate Kilbert. We'll take a timeout here in about 3 minutes. When we come back, Landon Bussey. Man, tough loss for Landon Bussey and the Braves. Maybe a reset in order. We'll talk about that on the other side here on the Braves Sports Network.